naming actor Kim Soohyun in what they claim is a deeply disturbing and long-running case. The allegations ranged from an inappropriate relationship that began when Saeron was underage to a shocking incident involving someone who tried to bring these claims to light. Gold medalist responded to the bombshell. On May 7th, Saeron's family, represented by attorney Boo Ji-seok, stood before reporters and said they were ready to uncover what they described as a serious criminal act committed by the actor. Even before the press conference started, gold medalist appeared rattled. They issued a preemptive statement warning the public not to accept the claims being circulated, calling them baseless and slanted. The agency said they were deeply troubled by the increasing spread of rumors after the previous press conference, and urged people not to contribute to the misinformation. Meanwhile, fans of Kim Soohyun in China rallied behind him, going as far as sending protest trucks to the location of the press event. These trucks displayed supportive messages, pledging loyalty to the actor and promising that the work of nearly 2 decades wouldn't be tarnished. The revelations during the press conference were intense. Originally, attorney Boo and Kim Se-ui from Garasaro Research Institute had planned to wait until after the presidential election to go public. But the urgency of the matter led them to act sooner. During the session, they played an audio recording, allegedly from January 10th, in which Saeron was heard talking with someone close to her about her past with the actor. In the clip, she talked about their relationship starting back in middle school and lasting into her college years. When asked if anything intimate had occurred once she became an adult, Soohyun reportedly answered that their first physical interaction actually took place during her second year in middle school, around the age of 13 or 14 during winter vacation. She also seemed to question whether what had happened to her could be considered exploitative, a sentiment the other speaker on the recording appeared to agree with. Reacting angrily to her story, Saeron went on to say that only a few people knew. They were dating back when she was still a student, and those who did often blamed her, asking why she let it go on. Another disturbing allegation brought up during the conference was that Soohyun had supposedly been involved with a female idol and even taken inappropriate pictures of their private moments, pictures that he later allegedly showed to Saeron. This idol was listed in his phone under the name Seaweed, reportedly because of how she smelled. When it was revealed that a whistleblower involved in Saeron's case had been violently attacked, an informant based in New Jersey had recorded a 90-minute phone call with her, purportedly with her full permission. In that conversation, she named Kim Soohyun and YouTuber Lee Jin-ho as the people who caused her the most distress, and the call was said to contain explicit and deeply troubling details. This informant allegedly turned down an enormous bribe worth millions not to release the audio, choosing instead to pass it along to journalists in Korea. But soon after, the informant was brutally stabbed 9 times in the neck by 2 attackers. Medical documentation was shown at the press event confirming the injuries, which led to permanent nerve damage in one hand. The assailants were identified as recent arrivals to the United States, with one reportedly being of Korean-Chinese descent. Despite the attack, the informant remained committed to releasing parts of the recording to the public. Fearing more violence if the truth stayed buried, Kim Se-ui labeled the attack as a deliberate attempt to silence a key witness. It was also announced that the case had been taken up by the FBI, rather than local law enforcement in New Jersey. Following the press conference, Saeron's family filed a criminal complaint against Kim Soohyun, accusing him of violating child protection laws. They also noted that unmarked vehicles had recently been seen near the home of Saeron's aunt, prompting them to request police protection for both her and Kim Se-ui. Reactions from the public were swift and divided. Some were absolutely appalled by the accusations and demanded swift justice. One user on social media said they were disgusted beyond words, while another hoped the case would finally bring closure and accountability. Others felt somewhat reassured when they heard that the FBI had taken an interest in the case, thinking. However, skepticism also took root. Doubters questioned the authenticity of the recording. with some suggesting that the voice didn't sound like Saeron's at all, or even claiming it was generated by artificial intelligence. Supporters of Kim Soohyun strongly rejected the allegations, calling the recording a hoax and implying that the whole incident was fabricated, reminding people of the organization's controversial history and suggesting that this could just be another attempt to push a sensational or political narrative. There were even allegations that the photos of the injured informant were not genuine, with internet users claiming the images could easily be found online. In response to the press conference, gold medalist released a strongly worded statement denying all allegations. They insisted the audio was artificial and had been offered to them in an attempt to extort money. They claimed the person responsible sent a preview of the clip, which appeared to present Soohyun in a favorable light, but after they refused to pay, that same individual approached Garosero with a twisted version of the recording. Gold medalist also refuted the story about the attack on the informant, insisting it never happened and that the injury photos had been pulled from the internet, echoing gold medalist's stance and denying any wrongdoing. He accused the informant of being a scammer who engaged in voice phishing, used fake identities, and regularly changed careers to run schemes. He claimed that the photos shown during the conference were simply generic images found on Google. Additionally, he said they had Kakao Talk chats and financial records that proved money had changed hands between Garosero and the informant, which, he argued, showed this was all a coordinated setup. Following these statements, more questions arose. Some began to suspect that the clip might have been intentionally leaked by Kim Soohyun's side in order to discredit it later and create doubt around the rest of the allegations. People pointed out that once one piece of evidence is debunked, it becomes easier to dismiss everything else. One commenter said they hoped the family had been cautious because the whole thing was starting to seem like an elaborate trap they may have walked into. Others, however, believed the matter was too grave to be a setup. They argued that if the recording were fake, the informant wouldn't have been targeted so violently. They also pointed out that if the FBI was genuinely involved and the family had filed formal charges, it was likely they had already reviewed and verified the evidence. People referenced past incidents, such as actor Darren Wong allegedly hiring men to beat a taxi driver, to show that celebrities with enough power and resources might go to extreme lengths to protect their image. Regarding the injury photos, Gold suffered not the actual photos, hence why they could be found online. They examined the metadata, bitrate, sample rate, and audio signature, all of which matched that of a naturally recorded file from a mobile device or a simple recorder. They also highlighted natural breathing patterns, steady emotional tone, and situational details that would be difficult for AI to replicate accurately. Neither Garosero nor Saeron's family have officially responded to accusations that the evidence was fabricated, and gold medalist has yet to make public the version of the recording they claim was offered to them, which supposedly portrays Saeron speaking positively about the actor. For now, we're all waiting for someone to release solid proof. But since it's gold medalist asserting that the recordings are fake, the burden is on them to back that up with clear, verifiable evidence. So be sure to stay tuned. This story is far from over. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to stay updated on how this case unfolds, don't forget to hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure to subscribe for more updates like this. See you in the next one.